It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Strange day yesterday at Spartan Stadium. It's time to meet Team 312. Matt Charbonneau covers Michigan State football and basketball for the Detroit News and chronicler of one of the most maddening games Spartans fans have had to endure in a long time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of one that's probably frustrated them like that one. I mean, obviously last year was a frustrating year, but one singular game.
I think you have to go back to 2006 against Notre Dame, the monsoon game, when Michigan State had the big lead and then came out and forgot how they got it.
Right. I was thinking the 13 Notre Dame game, but that was kind of out of their control.
And that was on the road.
Yeah, on the road when all those pass interference calls, that drove fans crazy. But this one a whole lot of reasons why they were frustrated.
So much build up for this game. Everyone was excited, and didn't work out that way. Also want to welcome Jim Keaton, Jr., my travel partner last year to Tempe. Three-sport standout and Greater Lansing area Hall of Famer. His days at Lansing Eastern, plus two-sport performer at Arizona State. Played in the NFL with the Broncos and the Patriots. Are you still smiling? A little bit, just a little bit.
Jack, it's been a wonderful couple of days. I got to admit, we'll just say forks up. All is well. We had a lot of great turnout of Sun Devils yesterday at the game. Had a great time. And just appreciate being allowed to have gracious hosts as we came in to take over Spartan Stadium yesterday.
Yeah, and you'll see at the end how the Arizona State players celebrated that. If you haven't seen it yet, it's worth noting. Also want to welcome Stephen Brooks, covers Michigan State football and basketball for 24/7 Sports, Spartan Tailgate premium site, and a hard-working guy who was there till almost 11 o'clock last night and then kept working long after that, right?
Yeah. Beyond 11.
3 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, and then I wake up today and watch the first part of the Lions game, and I think I'm watching the exact same game. We got penalties all over the place. We got missed kicks, all sorts of sloppiness. So, yeah, I feel like I've seen that game many times already by now, even 24 hours later.
You weren't watching BTN in 60 when you were watching the Lions, right? Yeah. Of the games that you have covered at Michigan State, have you seen a stranger one than that?
I'd have to think. I mean, last year was pretty strange in totality, honestly.
Yeah.
I was there for the Notre Dame game 13. That was a pretty odd one, but this is right up there, I'd say.
I would say so. We will be back in just a minute. We're going to spend a lot of time on that game yesterday in Spartan Stadium. We'll be right back with that and much, much more. Our Going Green segment brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, coming up on Press Pass.
Whoa, I've never seen such perfect glass recycling. It's beautiful.
Here's why.
The sacred list of locally accepted materials.
Do you think they checked with their local recycler about brown, green, and blue glass?
Clearly. Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
Hike! Get in the savings zone at Capital Honda with game-winning offers on the new 2019 Honda Civic LX, $189 a month, or new 2019 Honda CR-V EX all-wheel drive, $269 a month. You should be driving a Honda from Capital Honda.
With MSU-FCU's Visa Signature Card, receive 3% cash back on groceries, 2% cash back on gas, travel, and universities, and 1% cash back on everything else. Open your MSU-FCU Visa Signature Card today.
I've never seen such perfect glass recycling. It's beautiful.
Here's why.
The sacred list of locally accepted materials.
Do you think they checked with their local recycler about brown, green, and blue glass?
Clearly. Learn the rules of recycling at recyclingraccoons.org.
The new Fox Sports app, now with live streaming. Download it from the App Store today.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet, a trusted friend with 105 years in the automobile business, and Graf Nissan, next door on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf. Mark, what was the reason for taking the timeouts when they had the ball, the dead ball situation, instead of keeping one in case they scored?
Well, I thought it was going to come down that last series, and really the timeout, we didn't need the timeout anyway because we could spike the ball, spiked it, stuff. It was on the 42nd. And also wanted to make sure, because we were so concerned about the quarterback scrambling, we were trying to look at the formation that they were running and make them change that formation. So we took the timeouts to make sure that we were going to be aligned up correctly and make them change a couple of formations.
Mark D'Antonio, but do you need 2 of those timeouts back to back? Wouldn't you be better off to hang on to one of them just in case Arizona State scored, which when it got down that close to the goal line, it certainly looked like it was possible and eventually happened. Stephen, it was supposed to be a coronation. Instead, the entire nation was treated to a litany of MSU gaffes, offense, defense, special teams, coaching, you name it. When you look at Michigan State's ability to self-destruct with the early fumble, 10 penalties, botched clock management at the end, could it be any worse than that?
No, I guess not. My takeaway was, though, I mean, the mistakes were huge, but I didn't think it was sort of this all-encompassing systematic breakdown like we saw last year. 404 yards is legit. They only did that once in the second half of last year, reached 400 yards. They had 6 other drives other than their one scoring drive, reach Arizona State territory. Didn't get points on any of those. And then, like I said, you look at the penalties, they were big ones. The roughing the passer on 3rd down extends a drive. You've got delay of game on one of Matt Coughlin's misses, backs him up. He misses that attempt. Personal foul takes away Kenny Willekes' strip sack. Game's probably over after that. And then, of course, 12 men on the field at the end. We all know how that played out. So they were able to move the ball. It wasn't like last year where it was just completely anemic, completely unable to move the ball. I think they only had 1 3 and out. So in many ways it was different, but the mistakes were absolutely huge in this one.
Did you guys think when Coughlin's first field goal went through, okay, well, here we go, overtime, or did you think, oh, he's got to kick this thing again, he's not going to make it the second time? Man.
No, I didn't think, once they had to kick it again and move it back, you're starting to, he's already missed twice in the day, and you're starting to think this is not really adding up for Michigan State when you think they've forced overtime and then they haven't. Stephen's right completely. That offense felt different. It felt like they were actually moving the ball, but nothing was happening for this team. Nothing was going how you expected or needed it to go. When you talk about the strip sack, the fumble, I mean, Raequan Williams' hand is kind of touching the guy's face, and it's a penalty. It's like, you don't want to blame calls, but just nothing seemed to be fitting in, and so it made me think, of course he's going to miss this field goal at this point, right? Because that's just the feeling you had. Nothing was kind of working out for Michigan State at that point.
And Jim, Herm Edwards said, it was just like last year's game.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways you had 2 teams that are trying to find an identity, both really good defenses, trying to get their offenses to be productive enough to win games or not unproductive enough that it cost us a game. I thought that Michigan State, from an offensive standpoint, while they gained yards, my personal takeaway is they're still not there yet because they need in my opinion, Doug talked about this with Stafford and Bevell, and it's you got to be able to be aggressive.
Yeah.
I don't see Lewerke being aggressive down the field. I see him dinking and dunking. I'd rather see them push the ball down the field with 15, 18, 20-yard chunk plays, then come back with some runs with Elijah, and I think that will open up the running game a lot more.
He said after the game that he wanted to take a shot at the end zone at the end of the game. That worked out pretty well with Felton Davis last year against Penn State, when a lot of people said just kick the field goal. But instead, they didn't know exactly what to do. They wound up kicking a field goal, kicking it again. And you have to go back at least 13 years, Matt, to find this level of venom and vitriol. What do you think the fan base's reaction is right now to Mark D'Antonio and his coaching staff, and how much of it goes back to that controversial offseason shuffle?
Well, I think that absolutely matters. People, to most people, that wasn't enough. They wanted to see wholesale changes, and they're going to ignore the fact that they gained 404 yards. But I think most of their anger is at Mark D'Antonio, and that's what I think is different. Just the game management choices were remarkable to me. Using the 2 timeouts on the defensive drive made no sense. And then, of course, what happened at the end of regulation. Everybody else but Mark D'Antonio thought they were taking a shot, and they didn't. It created chaos that didn't need to be there.
Jim, a quick look at Michigan State's schedule here, and they did outgain Arizona State by 188 yards. But is this a 500 team, an 8-win group, or one that could still pull things together and post double-digit victories?
I still think they can still pull things together. It's just a function of, as we talked about, getting together, being on the same page, everybody, and then going from there.
Team Keaton is not going off the bridge, ladies and gentlemen. That'll be a big splash. We'll be right back.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
It's inventory reduction time at a Graf dealership near you. And the savings have never been better. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a 2019 Chevrolet, the time is now, and Graf is the place.
Get below GM employee pricing on a new Trax, just $167 per month. A new Equinox, just $199 per month. Or get a Silverado Crew Cab, just $179 per month.
It's the inventory reduction sale at a Graf dealership near you. Dad, we're supposed to shrink the prices, not the size of the cars.
I'm bigger than Empire, baby. Let the smackdown begin!
I've been expecting you.
Season 2.
Everybody take cover!
Looks to the end zone, passes, caught!
Exciting! Fox Fall Premiere Week starts with the Emmys September 22nd on Fox.
Download the Fox 47 News app, available for iOS and Android.
It's a pick six at Shaheen Chevrolet.
Lease any of the top 6 Chevy models for under $150 a month.
The Trax, Malibu, Equinox, Traverse, even the Silverado and Blazer. They're all under $150 a month at Shaheen.
With $4,000 minimum for your trade.
Or get 6 years, 0% financing when you buy. Either way, you save thousands of dollars at Shaheen Chevrolet.
These are the best deals you can get on these vehicles. Because at Shaheen, you always get the lowest price on any new Chevy, guaranteed or it's free.
Pick your six at ShaheenChevrolet.com.
Every day, there are doors to open and steps to be taken. There are chapters waiting to be written. There are simple things that mean the world, and things so complex they can change a world. There are decisions to make that make all the difference, and we have a part in all of it every day.
Welcome back to Press Pass and Going Green Part 2, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan, West Grand River and Okemos. Many of you saw the Heisman Trophy there the past 3 days, and many more will be satisfied Graf customers this season.
Obviously, the game was similar to what it was last year, when you think about it, except we were up 3-0 instead of them at halftime. The mindset for our football team was real simple. don't allow the emotion of the stadium get to us early. That's what's happened the last 2 games that these guys have played. They've been up 56-14. And if we could just withstand that first quarter barrage of the fan base and their football team, we just felt like if we could just make it a methodical game, we'd have a chance. And it kind of turned out that way. Now, we were fortunate, we got a couple plays here or there. But when those kind of games, that's what happens. You just kind of go back and forth. Field position is critical. This game kind of played out like last year's game, to be quite honest. There's a lot of similar things that happened.
Jim Keaton, it's clear that Herm Edwards played to win the game, as he always says, right?
Right.
So with a hire that was ridiculed, if not mocked, 20 months ago, how much has his leadership meant to this Sun Devils turnaround?
Well, I think that he makes a statement a lot about just staying humble and being hungry. And Herm is very comfortable in his own skin. And as you say, when they hired him 2 years ago or 18 months ago, 20 months ago, whatever it was, everybody was, he's just a TV analyst. He's a big TV guy. He's not a coach. He's not, look what he did. And my take on it, and the guys that I played with at the time who, grew up with Herm either as a coach or a player.
Right.
And, we all had the opinion, we know who he is.
Yeah.
And Herm is a relationship guy. And you can see that the relationship he has with his coaches, he entrusts them to do what he wants them to do. You can tell that, when I watch him, he manages the game. He doesn't coach everything. He's talking to his coaches, and there's a lot of communication going on.
A lot of trust. You could tell that with Jaden Daniels and the way that he was so cool under pressure, especially at the end of the game.
It's like I told you when we talked on Tuesday. He is a competitor. He is not afraid of the bright lights or the moment. And as I thought that perhaps Michigan State was getting us a little too early in his career.
Yeah.
But he proved, on Saturday that he's got a bright future because he's calm, as Stuart Scott would say. He is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Yeah. I tell you, the one person who loves Herm Edwards is Tom Izzo. I mean, he just thinks the world of Herm Edwards. And he went through Mariucci, and he says, I got to get to know this guy. But Stephen, when you look at this game yesterday, was this one that Arizona State won or one that the Spartans lost?
I think you got to say Arizona State won it, strictly because of the execution late in the game there. They had 141 yards going into that last touchdown drive.
141 yards. Were they good or were they lucky?
They were good because they won the game at the end and drove it down there. They convert the 4th down. Jaden Daniels leaks out 2 more times for 5 and 7 yards. Really good job by their coaching staff, I thought, to leave him that lane, especially the 7-yarder. They sort of cleared everybody out, and he's able to scoot around, get to the 1-yard line. Probably could have scored if he wanted to put his body on the line there, but they executed at the end, and MSU kind of let it go. I mean, the 40-yard pass to Josh Butler, the 4th and 13, he runs for 15 yards, and you take 2 timeouts to figure out what to do there. This defensive staff, with Mark D'Antonio, with Paul Haynes, who's been a head coach, with Mike Tressel all down there, all these great minds all put together, they have to do 2 timeouts. They still can't stop them. So I give credit to Arizona State for executing at the biggest moment.
When you think about this, Matt, usually it's not the best team that wins, it's a team that makes the fewest mistakes. Looking at Eno Benjamin and the touchdown to win it, when he reaches that ball over the goal line, did you think for just a minute of L.J. Scott in the 2015 Big Ten Championship?
A little bit, but obviously the stakes weren't
quite the same.
Not quite the same.
Didn't have 6 guys swatting at the ball.
So, but yeah, you still love a guy who's going after it, saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win the game right here. And look, there's even here at the 1, there's no guarantees right there. Just ask Pat Narduzzi and Pitt. There's guarantees at the 1. So you get the touchdown, no one's complaining once it's in there, right?
We will be right back. The Big Picture brought to you by Dean Trailways. We're going to look around the country. Up next, here on Press Pass.
At Gunnisonville Meadows Senior Assisted Living Facility, we believe a supportive and nurturing community is the most important thing we offer our residents. Our commitment is to deliver superior, person-centered support. We evaluate each resident to determine the level of support needed and create a specialized care plan for each individual.
Our mission here is to provide our residents with a loving, caring, safe environment.
At Team One in Charlotte, it's all about huge savings on our huge selection of Chevy, Buick, and GMCs.
You'll save thousands with these great deals. Get a new Chevy Silverado for only $299 a month. Get this new GMC Terrain, just $149 a month.
And a new Buick Encore is only $99 a month at Team One in Charlotte.
And the Team One finance team will save you even more.
The best deals from Chevy, Buick, and GMC are all in one spot. Team One in Charlotte.
Team1Charlotte.com.
There's so much more I can teach you about murder.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Hey, Jets! Thursday's coming. You might as well start booing yourselves now.
Thursday night? Barry's Cowboy.
Yeah! Thursday.
Mahomes.
One-hit wonder. All day.
Thursday night?
New York reminds New England, who's boss? Green Bay. Philly's coming for that cheddar.
Sorry, Philly. This is a no-fly zone.
Juju. The 49ers are back, baby! Rise up! Red
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago, where Doug Warren and I were last month for the NFL Legends Classic. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
After Elijah scored and he went up 7-3 and then they had to go 75 yards, how confident were you that they weren't going to get in the end zone?
No, we were very confident. A couple little things. One big play, one explosive play got us, and then losing contain on a fourth down.
What happened on that play? You just got outside?
Just figure out, pocket. We didn't get our rush lanes, I guess. I'm not really sure. We were worried about covering up the seam, so we knew that's where he was looking, first. And we were hoping we can rally to the ball, but, he was able to pick the first down. Ups and downs, game of football, it's a game of life. It's all the same thing. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, and, how are we going to react to it? And, hopefully, moving forward, starting tomorrow, we can work on Northwestern, kind of forget about this game. That's kind of the mindset right now, and we know Northwestern's going to be a tough team.
Michigan State captain Joe Bocci Jr., and apparently confidence wasn't the problem. He had some other ones, though, along the way. Matt Charbonneau, when you think about other losses like this preseason, it's a stretch for a lot of fans right now, but is it possible that at some point this loss could be seen like the 17-13 loss to Notre Dame? That was a 7-6 team. Everyone was complaining about the coaching, didn't have anything going offensively, and suddenly after that loss they couldn't be stopped.
Are you asking me, is that going to happen again?
I'm saying, is it possible? Is it possible?
In the most technical terms, it's possible. Likely, I'm not counting on it. I mean, you go back to 13, that team had the building blocks of what became a championship team that year, a playoff team 2 years later. That offensive line was young, and at least 2 or 3 of those guys played in the NFL. We didn't know about Connor Cook quite yet that day, but he obviously emerged from that. And I just don't see all those pieces with this offense. Obviously, the defense is good enough. If this offense suddenly figures it out and they explode in the Big Ten opener next week like that 13 team did at Iowa, maybe, but I don't see where those parts of the formula are in this team. I just don't.
The big similarity is a tremendous defense, and even with Connor Cook, that 2013 team had 14-0 and 14-3 wins over Minnesota and Purdue. So they weren't scoring 40 points every week until the following year.
They weren't, but you saw something in that. You knew it was there. You had Jack Conklin as your tackle and Jack Allen the center and Donovan Clark, NFL guys. I'm not sure. There's
You're
NFL
not buying
guys.
Elijah Collins as a young Jeremy Langford, maybe.
Potentially, yes, but he can't do it by himself. And I'm just not sure up front if Michigan State's
Darryl
good
Stewart as starring as Benny Fowler.
Darryl Stewart might be better than Benny Fowler. I don't know. He's putting up numbers that could say that, but look, some of the skill positions I'm buying. I'm not buying up front. That's my issue with Michigan State right now.
I gotcha. Michigan State, not the only Big Ten team to struggle, not the only one to lose yesterday. They were starting to feel pretty good in Champaign, Illinois, Jim, until Chris Creighton and Big Ten killer Eastern Michigan got there.
Go Eagles.
How about that?
You know, that program has been turning around for a few years, and he's done a great job down there recruiting and doing the sales job that he had to do to bring people in the Ypsilanti. Now
they were going to cancel that program.
That program was gone, and then he by himself has revitalized that. They even got people coming into the games where you actually buy your tickets because they used to give them away to try to get people to come. And he's done it the right way though. He's gotten guys similar to Michigan State where you develop them. There's some guys that everybody didn't want, and he brought them in and coaching them up. Doing a great job down there at Eastern Michigan.
Chris Creighton, along with Matt Charbonneau, and I hope Jim Keaton Jr. will be guests on the Drive with Jack tomorrow afternoon. But looking around the Big Ten, we knew that Maryland was not going to continue to average 71 points a game, as we saw in the loss at Temple. But it looks like Ohio State can score as many points as it wants. Here you see Temple with the touchdown, and I think a lot of the Maryland fans were stunned the way this turned out.
Maryland had 2 points at halftime.
Yeah,
2.
Exactly. They give up a deliberate safety on the last play of the game to make it 20-17. But when you look at Ohio State, they look like they are ready to roll and bring on anybody. All comers, right?
Right. I mean, and Justin Fields probably is everything we thought he was going to be. I mean, we know Ohio State gets the talent, but I mean, I wondered about Fields. You wondered a little bit about Ryan Day in his first go-around, but they're answering all the critics at this point. We'll see once the schedule really gets tougher. But
Stephen, no top 10 upsets this week, but taking a look at today's top 25, got a couple of really intriguing matchups next week. Notre Dame at Georgia and Michigan at Wisconsin. How do you see those turning out?
I like Notre Dame's team, but I don't like them down there at Georgia on the road. Georgia's 3-0 with a margin of victory over 41 points. Michigan and Wisconsin, interesting. They're both coming off byes, but I'm still going to roll with Michigan.
All right, riding with the Wolverines. We'll be right back with more Law of the Jungle segment number 1 up next.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
It's inventory reduction time at a Graf dealership near you.
And the savings have never been better. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a 2019 Chevrolet,
the time is now, and Graf is the place.
Get below GM employee pricing on a new Trax, just $167 per month. A new Equinox, just $199 per month. Or get a Silverado Crew Cab, just $179 per month.
It's the inventory reduction sale at a Graf dealership near you.
Dad, we're supposed to shrink the prices, not the size of the cars.
Well, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
When water won't go down, we're the best in town. Veteran Sewer and Drain Cleaning has all the tools and experience to fix your drain problem. Serving Lansing since 1950, Veteran Sewer and Drain Cleaning provides quality service at a reasonable price. If it carries water away, we can fix it. Call Veteran Sewer and Drain Cleaning and tell your drain problems goodbye.
It's a pick six at Shaheen Chevrolet.
Lease any of the top 6 Chevy models for under $150 a month.
The Trax, Malibu, Equinox, Traverse, even the Silverado and Blazer, they're all under $150 a month at Shaheen.
With $4,000 minimum for your trade.
Or get 6 years, 0% financing when you buy. Either way, you save thousands of dollars at Shaheen Chevrolet.
These are the best deals you can get on these vehicles. Because at Shaheen, you always get the lowest price on any new Chevy, guaranteed or it's free.
Pick your 6 at ShaheenChevrolet.com.
You've got a lot of screens, which means you need super fast internet. Fast enough for everything you love on every device you have. No data caps. All from a company you'll love. Super fast internet for just $24.99 per month.
Wow. Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for a Law of the Jungle segment brought to you by Forest Acres Golf Courses and Golf MSU. With a wide variety of challenges on the east and west layouts, a terrific 12-month practice facility, and a pro shop with something for every Spartan, Acres is always a grade A facility. Go to golf.msu.edu for great fall specials, one of the best times to play a championship course.
In the end, they're in the locker room right now with the loss, but feeling like perhaps they should have had another chance to force overtime. Dean, why is that?
What a crazy finish, right? The center judge on the initial attempt throws his flag, says they have 12 men on the field. They pick it up, replay then gets involved, creates the foul. We move Michigan State back 5 yards. They miss the attempt, but watch number 15 on Arizona State. He's moving toward the line of scrimmage. He runs, he jumps over the line. That's a foul for leaping. You have to be stationary on the line to jump over that plane over your opponent. That's a 15-yard penalty, and they get another shot if that flag is thrown.
Wow. 15 yards.
15 yards, yeah.
Too little, too late, though, if you're a Spartan at this point.
Too little, too late. Nothing you can do now. Replay, not a reviewable situation either. Not something replay could buzz down and fix, and it's just one that they just missed on the field.
There you see Dino Blandino, and he's talking about the officiating at the end of that game. Stephen Brooks, the Pac-12 officiating crew did not get invited to any post-game tailgate parties yesterday at Spartan Stadium, and Mark D'Antonio could not hide his displeasure.
Well, I don't know if there were any post-game parties after all that. I think they all
will help clean up anyway.
Yeah. I think they all packed up real quick and got out of town. It would have been quite a scene. Yeah. Who knows what would have unfolded there with all the players at home and everything. But yeah, D'Antonio addresses it after the game and says, kind of curbs his comments a little bit and definitely expresses his displeasure without going too far overboard to where it becomes a viral clip or anything like that, and he's in trouble and he's got to go talk to Bill Beekman. But he did say today on the teleconference that it's in the process of being submitted to whoever the higher ups are in the officiating world, and they'll look at it and probably admonish the guys and move on, and nobody will, Michigan State's not going to win the game, Arizona State's not going to lose, so it'll just sort of be what it is, I guess, at that point. Is can't cry over spilled milk, as my old coach used to say.
Yeah, that and some spare change will get you a subscription to 24/7 Sports, right? That's
sure.
All you need. Matt, they say officials' calls even out over time. That's not much of a consolation. But how much blame can really be put on one call in a game when there are 160 other opportunities?
Well, I mean, you can obviously put some blame on it, right? I mean, just like anything else in a game, there's usually a list of 7, 8, 9 reasons why a team lost or a team won, and this is one of them for Michigan State. Whether it was the call on Raekwon Williams, if that hands to the face call is not made, Michigan State recovers the fumble on Kenny Wilkes' strip sack, and the game's essentially over at that point. Yeah. So that one call, yes, that's critical. Or the non-call, as Blandino talked about, on the jumping over you don't know what's going to happen after that. You assume you kick the field goal, but then you have overtime. So it matters. It's not the sole reason. It's one reason. You got a lot of other reasons.
When people whine about officiating, do you have any sympathy?
No, not usually. To me, it's very rare.
In this case, might have been a little different.
It's very rare when one call absolutely determines it. Some can come at a terrible time.
The Rams and the Saints last year in the playoffs.
Right. That
can happen.
But you always look back to other points in a game that if this happened or this happened, it wouldn't have mattered. And I know people don't want to hear that, and it's frustrating for fans, but that's the reality.
Jim Keaton, I know you're not going to give this win back.
No.
And you and Carrie are going to have your celebration at Sir Pizza on him.
Yep.
Have you ever been involved in a game like this where you felt the officials took it from you, and how long did it take you to get over it?
I've never had it happen in a football game, but my junior year in basketball, we played Pontiac Central in the semifinals at Jennison Fieldhouse, and we had come back. We were down 3. Call timeout, come out of a timeout, run a play to me down underneath. I do up and under. I score. Clyde Corley fouls me. I'm letting everybody know we're tying this game up.
Yeah.
And this official from Kalamazoo,
Great place.
I won't name him, calls traveling.
Oh. Why did you travel?
I didn't travel. However, it did cost us an opportunity to tie the game.
Yeah.
We ended up giving up the ball, no three-point play. They come down, hit a bucket. Now we're down 5. We got a minute to go in the game, and we don't have that opportunity to win the ball game.
I can see how long it's taken you to forget this. Maybe next week. Maybe.
The only thing that makes it okay, Jack, is that it did fuel me to make sure that we won it my senior year.
There you go. So it turned out to be a positive thing, right? But you could have won 2.
We could have won 2.
Anybody else have, Matt, did you ever have an official job you and you felt like...
See, I can think of times in my...
Not editors, I'm talking about game
People probably are interested in my high school baseball career, but maybe this will spur Michigan State on to not let it happen again.
All right, we're going to have our Law of the Jungle segment up next with Doug Warren talking Detroit Lions. We'll be right back.
Coming to the Potter Center at Jackson College on Saturday, September 21st, are legendary rockers, the Guess Who. The Guess Who. Rock the night away with their many hit songs like American Woman and These Eyes. One show only, Saturday, September 21st. Get your tickets at the Potter Center box office or at jccmi.edu/Potter Center.
Looking for pre-owned? No worries. Team One has great deals on all GM certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot in Charlotte. Late models, low miles, and no gimmicks. Just an honest deal from an honest dealer. If you don't get your next pre-owned vehicle from Team One, you're just getting used.
I'm gonna put a weapon on you. Bring it, little dude.
Stop your kids from fighting after you pass away with a will or trust that spells out your wishes. We protect you, your family, and your wallet. Call Crenshaw Peterson today for a free consultation.
TV's #1 new show returns, The Masked Singer, September 25th on Fox.
Team Spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we have a taste for adventure because the only way to know how good something can be is to go for it. Try our veggie smoothies, Island Green, made with spinach, kale, pineapple, banana, and mango. And Caribbean Sea Burst with carrots, mango, banana, orange, and goji. Adventure begins with never knowing until you try, but always expecting something great. Go for a veggie smoothie at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Eat better, feel better.
Oh, hell yeah.
ION. Submission.
There it is! You can't see me!
She's out, Don.
All hail the queen!
Woo!
What is that smell?
This smell what the rock is cooking! We got a new champion!
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment. Brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. Stop and see Chuck, Delita, and their terrific staff on Trowbridge, or find Woody's favorites at Tom's Foods, Horrocks, and all across MSU's campus. We are talking Detroit Lions, and they got it done, ladies and gentlemen. Win number 1 this year, still undefeated. And we are joined by Doug Warren, our Detroit Lions and NFL historian. Doug, the Lions won at home despite being outgained and often outplayed by the LA Chargers. What did today's game mean after being torched last week by the media and everyone else at Arizona?
Well, I think it means that, for one thing, there's a little bit of synergy developing between offensive coordinator Darrell Bevell and quarterback Matthew Stafford. As we know, Stafford was upset last week when they didn't put the game in his hands late to try to seal a potential win, which ended up being a tie against the Cardinals. Today, they allowed Stafford to be a little bit more aggressive and seal the game with a big pass to convert the first down and run out the clock with tight end Jesse James. The touchdown pass to Kenny Galladay was a classic. That's the type of big play that fans and media and everybody else are hoping for. The Lions can develop between the quarterback and their top receiver, and the defense did just enough to pull out the victory. And Darius Slay had a tough day covering Keenan Allen, but came up with a big interception at the end of the game to help turn the tide and seal the victory for Detroit.
Matt Stafford threw 2 interceptions, enough for his critics, Rico Beard, to say the guy's a loser and he always will be. But what did he mean that he threw the 2 touchdown passes and had his 29th game-winning drive in the fourth quarter or overtime?
Well, it's notable in the fact that this comeback came against a team that's probably going to finish the year with a winning record. Most of those wins that he's had over the years have been against losing teams. It's big for them to do that. It gives them a confidence boost. The Chargers are a team a lot of people thought would be contending in the AFC. And I think, frankly, an aggressive Matthew Stafford, a confident Matthew Stafford, is going to be a good thing for this offense as they try to find their footing and make a playoff run in the NFC North.
Pro Bowl cornerback Darius Slay was targeted, picked on for much of the game, but his late interception of Phillip Rivers, was that a great play or just being in the right place with an ill-advised throw into double coverage?
Well, I think it's probably a little of both. Slay was covering Keenan Allen all day, the Chargers' clear number 1 receiver. Phillip Rivers is going to throw the ball to him no matter what. And he struggled at times. Allen got some plays, but at the end of the game, Slay stepped up and made the big play. And after the game, I can't quote him directly, but he was asked by the media about that interception. When he saw the ball in the air, he's like, blank, that's my ball, and he went and got it. So Slay's got a short memory. He's tough mentally, which is what you need when you're top cornerback at the NFL level.
Doug, it was a battle of misplaced kicks. Where have we seen that before, right? You had Matt Prater, normally reliable, and you had Ty Long, each missing 2 kicks. Do we take field goals and NFL extra points for granted, and would more teams be better off if they went for it on 4th and short?
It depends. A 35-yard extra point now, that's not really a chip shot. They made that rule change a couple of years ago. It's just an off day for Prater. He's been rock solid really his entire career with Detroit. Just one of those things. The special teams overall, though, it's an issue for the Lions. The return game is a big question. Jamal Agnew muffed a couple punts again today, got benched. They've got to find a solution in that regard, and Prater, I think, will bounce back, so I'm not too concerned about him.
I know it's early, but the Lions are one of just 2 NFC North teams without a loss. Taking a look at Detroit's schedule moving forward, how long will that last?
Well, considering that they have to play the Eagles and the Chiefs in the next couple of games, let's just say they're probably going to have a loss here in the next couple of weeks, maybe 2, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the confidence they get from today's victory. But this team, until further notice, is a 500 team, and we'll see what happens beyond that.
Will they get a win before the Giants come to town on October 27th? You could be looking at 1-5 at that point.
I said all along since the schedule came out, maybe I'm just crazy, I thought they'd beat Kansas City. I thought they'd come up with a game plan and beat the Chiefs. Now, they kind of did that today with the Chargers, so maybe those 2 games will be a flip-flop. But I think the Lions, especially defensively, are going to be a little bit better, especially if they get Jared Davis back and they put him on the outside, because Jelani Tavai is playing pretty good in the middle. He had a big play today against the Chargers.
even though the Lions didn't give up a lot of points today, it's hard for me to believe, guys, that they're going to get Patrick Mahomes.
Doesn't seem very likely.
They did get Tom Brady last year, but something just tells me that's not going to happen. Doug, thanks so much. Appreciate your expertise. We'll be back. We're going to have our Take It to the Bank segment, and we're going to revisit a comment made last week. A semi-guarantee didn't work out so well. We'll be back with that and much more. Our Dart Bank Take It to the Bank segment up next here on Press Pass.
Welcome, everyone, to the Epicenter. Come on in. The role of the modern-day church is absolutely critical because it fills a void in our community that no other institution can. No matter what your issues or questions in life, I want you to email me at thelovedoctor517@gmail.com, and you'll get your answers during our Love Doctor Bounce Back TV segments. I'll see you soon.
It's a pick six at Shaheen Chevrolet.
Lease any of the top 6 Chevy models for under $150 a month.
The Trax, Malibu, Equinox, Traverse, even the Silverado and Blazer, they're all under $150 a month at Shaheen.
With $4,000 minimum for your trade.
Or get 6 years, 0% financing when you buy. Either way, you save thousands of dollars at Shaheen Chevrolet.
These are the best deals you can get on these vehicles. Because at Shaheen, you always get the lowest price on any new Chevy, guaranteed or it's free.
Pick your 6 at ShaheenChevrolet.com.
Download the Fox 47 Storm Shield app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
It's inventory reduction time at a Graf dealership near you. And the savings have never been better. If you've been waiting for the best time to buy a 2019 Chevrolet, the time is now and Graf is the place.
Get below GM employee pricing on a new Trax, just $167 per month. A new Equinox, just $199 per month. Or get a Silverado Crew Cab, just $179 per month.
It's the inventory reduction sale at a Graf dealership near you. Dad, we're supposed to shrink the prices, not the size of the cars.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Champions! The Student Bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment. Brought to you by Dart Bank, dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
No way does Michigan State lose to Arizona State. Look, I know this was Western. I know it's a MAC team. They're going to look back at this game as one of the most important games Michigan State's had because of how much energy they provided. You know, that little reverse pass, or it went back to Lewerke, and the excitement on that team. I mean, obviously they got called on the carpet, and everybody took it and personally, and they fought back as a unit. I thought they played with more emotion than I've seen Michigan State play in a long time.
Yeah, and Tom Crawford, that was 7 nights ago. How things have changed. Clearly, Arizona State is not Western Michigan. Matt Charbonneau, what was your prediction for the Spartans heading into the season, and what is it 3 games in?
You know, when I went through and did my game by game, it ended up being 10-2.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling a little bit silly about that right now, considering the offensive performance of 2 of the 3 weeks.
There's some people out there right now who don't know if they'll win more than 2, and they've already got that.
Well, that's silly. Look, here's the thing. With this defense, they're going to be in every game they play.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're going to win every game they play, but you're going to have the opportunity. So, I mean, it's still a bowl team, and I don't think the season ends now, but I don't know.
I don't know if they're going to be in the Ohio State game if they don't get some help at left tackle. They're on their fourth left tackle. I just can't imagine them trying to block Chase Young.
Right, but I think of their offensive woes last year, and they were still in the game against Ohio State, still
Yeah.
in the game against Michigan late. You didn't have much hope they were going to get it done, but they were still there.
Stephen, I know you thought Michigan State could be 10-2, as I did. What's your take tonight?
It's a lot like Matt said. I mean, the concern is still on the offensive line, and now you lose Kevin Jarvis in the Arizona State game. I don't know if he'll be back or when he'll be back. They actually had a decent thing going in the first half. When he was out there, they were getting the ball down at a decent clip. They were running pretty well. Losing him is concerning, and also speed at receiver. I'm worried about how much they're going to be able to be threats downfield, like Jim was talking about, and how often they'll be able to challenge people like that, just because we're not seeing it at this point. So I think the high-tier games, you got to feel pretty scared if you're a Michigan State fan. The middle-tier games, the Northwesterns, Wisconsins of the world, those feel like coin flips or worse at this point.
Hard to imagine Wisconsin's a middle tier right now. They're the second
They haven't given up a
ranked,
point. I don't know if you
third
know that.
highest ranked Big Ten team.
I don't put them in the same
110.
category as Michigan, Ohio State yet.
Well, you have the Wolverines pounding them in Madison. Right?
Not pounding them, but I'm still sold on Michigan's receivers and this will be the deciding game for me. I think that offense will be able to.
Speed at receiver. Play Julian Barnett. Come on.
Yeah.
So he jumped off sides once, but see what he almost did on one catch?
He was so
I
excited.
think
He's
going to get
gonna
more
go
work.
again.
I think
He should.
He'll
He
have
should.
to get more work. There's some other guys that may be a little banged up as you go through. Saw a couple receivers coming off the field. Didn't look like they were doing too well yesterday. Have to see how that all works. When you look at some surprising starts in the Big Ten, Stephen, if you take a look at the standings or just think about it for a second. Michigan State now look like a fourth place team in the East Division, or could be higher than that.
Oh, it's tough to say. I mean, I like I said, I still think they'll be in every game with that defense, like Matt said. Maryland has been a surprise, though. Penn State, I think, to me, has been a surprise.
You see them beating Ohio State, Penn State, or Michigan?
One of them, you're saying?
Do you see them beating one or
Any
two of them?
Penn State, I still think so at home with the defense. I think they'll be able to be competitive in that one. Michigan, there's always variables in that one that are beyond X's and O's, so I like them there.
What about Arizona State, Jim? Could they contend in the Pac-12 South, or is that all Utah's to win?
Well, I'm not a believer in Utah.
Yeah.
And I think that at ASU, with the confidence they got from yesterday's win, have an opportunity to challenge to get to the Rose Bowl.
We will be right back. Our Cool and Smooth segment, all of our weekly awards, brought to you by Culver's, up next.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Don't miss college football, Saturdays on Fox 47.
Welcome, everyone, to the Epicenter. Come on in. The role of the modern-day church is absolutely critical because it fills a void in our community that no other institution can. No matter what your issues or questions in life, I want you to email me at thelovedoctor517@gmail.com, and you'll get your answers during our Love Doctor Bounce Back TV segments. I'll see you soon.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious butter burgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious. And for any Spartan fans who are upset by that, just remember what Michigan State did at Notre Dame in 2005, right?
Yeah, planted the
Remember
flag.
that play?
Planted the flag, yep.
Jason Teague, remember how that goes. All right, Team 312, who's been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Stephen Brooks, let's start with you and our play of the week.
Sure. So, folks, if you haven't seen this on the highlight shows yet, YouTube it, Google it, whatever you got to do. It's Bama at South Carolina. Bama's up 17-10 mid-second quarter. Tua Tagovailoa throws it to Najee Harris on 4th down. He's sort of running an angle route out of the backfield. Just throws a guy off of him like a toddler chasing the babysitter or something. Then he hurdles over a guy about 10 yards after that, and then he just runs through another arm tackle, gets into the end zone. It's one of the most beautiful catch and runs I've seen this year. Probably will still hold up by December, quite honestly. It was that impressive.
You'll see that in a lot of highlight reels for a long time, I think.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Matt Charbonneau, what about our game of the week?
Could it be Eastern Michigan winning? Could it be Iowa and Iowa State when they took apparently 18 hours to play that game?
That's right.
But I think we got to stick with the game all of us saw here, right? I mean, think of the way if you took just the last, I don't know, 3.5 minutes of that one and everything that happened, there was so much going on. It wasn't exciting for the hometown fans, but
you were up in the press box at the end, right? You were still ready. Okay, so some of us are able to sneak down on the field and seeing all of those players down there, and talk about the air coming out of a balloon.
Yeah.
At the end of that
Not
game.
to mention the planned celebration for Mark D'Antonio's 110th win that didn't happen.
That might lead us to our team of the week, Jim Keaton. Might.
I have to humbly request that we honor the Sun Devils from Tempe for what they were able to accomplish yesterday. It was a great team effort.
I'm glad it's a humble request.
Yeah, it's a very humble request. The good news is we don't play for a while. We're not on the schedule. That's good for me because I got through it 2-0.
You're 3-1 now. With
Both
this whole
birthday
thing, right?
presents. I'm good. So, but yeah, Arizona State. I think they managed the game well. They did what they had to do to win the game, and the bottom line is getting a W, and we were able to do that yesterday.
Yeah, and who knows where that might take you.
I'm hoping.
Moving ahead, right?
I'm hoping we
steps
get
in this program. That's what people want to see.
Amen.
All right. For our player of the week, and he could win this on his individual achievements, but he's also a representative of a new phenomenon in college football, and that is a true freshman starting quarterback. You got like 25 freshmen starting at quarterback in this country. It's hard to believe. And Jaden Daniels has now thrown 66 passes this year. No interceptions. None. Talk about cool, talk about guts, cat burglar. He's got 4th and 13. Hey, I'll just run it and get 15 yards. I need another 7. I'll take care of that. 5 more. Might have been able to score on that one. But anyway, I just think that what he did in that situation on the road with that crowd, I want to see his birth certificate.
I heard that a lot growing up, Jack.
Yeah, I mean, this is a defense. What have we kept hearing? Nobody can run on this. I wonder what the Tulsa players are thinking when they watch this, right? We got minus 73, and there's this guy. Looks like Lamar Jackson going down the field. Want to thank Team 312. Stephen Brooks, 24/7 Sports, Spartan Tailgate Premium Site. He's with us on The Drive with Jack every Thursday. My travel buddy, Jim Keaton Jr. Jim will have to plan another trip. It won't be till Michigan State, Arizona State game. And Matt Charbonneau, he's going to be with us tomorrow as well on The Drive with Jack from the Detroit News. And with at least 3/4 of us, we'll reconvene in Evanston. And we'll see you next Sunday night. Have a great week, everyone.